Hello everyone, it's Rachel and welcome back to Book and Bloom. Today I have a fall video. Woohoo! Some of my favorite fall reads. I love it so much. It's so good. You just have to read this. I just feel like you just do. If you haven't read at least one, you need to change that. So now I'm going to be sharing my TBR for fall. The first book, which I'm actually reading this right now. I'm almost done with it. You can see there's my bookmark. I think I have less than 50 pages left in this book. I'm a little bit nervous about the ending. I think that will be a big determinant of if I'm gonna make this a 5-star or 4-star or what, because I think this might be, I know it's a 4-star for sure, but I'm not sure if it's a 5-star quite yet. We'll see. This is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I absolutely love Beauty and the Beast, and so this is kind of like Beauty and the Beast with higher stakes. You have the curse, you have the enchanted castle, you don't have Lumiere and Cogsworth and Chip and Mrs. Potts. You don't have these objects coming to life with personalities. That's not really it's more of a focus on the curse and the enchantress and the devastation. There's higher stakes because instead of him being permanently in beast form, being permanently made to look like a beast, he transforms into a beast after every season, and he is no longer in control, and the beast has just completely devastated his kingdom, killed his family, killed innocent people, because he doesn't have any control over it. And when he becomes the beast, he has just a desire to kill and a desire for violence, and so he does not have control over that. And so there's much more at stake. Of course, Beauty and the Beast, it's sad that the idea of all these people are gonna forever just be candlesticks and clocks and he's just gonna be grumpy and extra hairy and have horns. There's more on the line. There's a lot on the line for the main character, Harper. She is from the real world and she gets swept into this world. She gets kidnapped from the real world and placed into Emberfall, which is where they're at. Her family's very broken. Her mom is suffering from cancer and is very close to just dying. So there's a lot for her at home. She's needed at home. She needs to help her family. So she is very conflicted because she gets wrapped up in this world and wants to help these people. The hope is that she'll fall in love with Ren. She's fighting against that because she doesn't foresee that happening. Though, how it's gonna go. It's a romance, there's fantasy. There's gonna be a will they won't they for a long time, and there's also kind of a love triangle because she also has really good chemistry with his guard, so it also kind of feels like the Selection series on steroids. I guess you guys will probably have to see my reading wrap up. But yeah, so this is part of my TBR. Technically the last 50 pages of it. Another book I got from my library is 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. This is the author of The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I am so excited for this book because I've heard really good things. I've heard that it is a page turner and that you are going to want to just read this in one sitting. You're not going to be able to put it down. So I cannot wait to pick this up. I've heard that it's set in one day, a road trip gone wrong. I don't want to spoil too much for myself. I like to kind of have some kind of mystery. I tend to kind of like to go in blind. I absolutely love Holly Jackson. I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, so I definitely have high hopes for this book. So yeah, if you haven't read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that series, you definitely should because it is just so crazy. But yeah, I really wanted a murder mystery for spooky season fall. because I feel like that's the perfect time for thrillers and mystery and all of that, and fantasy. Anyways, the next book I have on my TBR is Pride and Prejudice. I will be rereading this book. This is for my British literature class, and we're going to be watching the movie in class, the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice, which in my opinion is the best one. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love the BBC one. It's like a stale translation of the book. Like, sure, it's truer to the book, but it doesn't capture the way the book makes you feel. And I feel like the Keira Knightley movie, I just can't help but just call it the Keira Knightley movie. To me, that movie just captures the way the book makes you feel. So it's more of an interpretation and less of a translation, in my opinion. And I think it's stronger because it utilizes the beauty of visual art. You know, with film, you can show the audience how the characters make you feel instead of just trying to be the truest you possibly can to the book. Sorry, I don't need to get off that rabbit hole, but yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Austen? Pride and Prejudice is just, it's hard to not love it. It's just so good, and I just love it. I love it. I'm looking forward to picking this up again. Yeah, and then another book that I'm reading for school, I actually don't have it. I'm probably gonna have to borrow it from the library or buy a copy. I think I would like to own it, but it depends on how much I enjoy it, I guess. But we're going to be watching, I keep on wanting to say watch. We're going to be reading Dracula, which I've heard is so good. A lot of people, I think, get Dracula and Frankenstein confused because Frankenstein, I've heard, is just boring and long-winded and not that good, but Dracula is like intense and crazy. I'm really excited to read it. I'm a little nervous, but mainly excited. So yeah, that's one of the books that we'll be reading in the fall season, so I think that'll be fitting for spooky season. And these two books, I'm not sure how, I don't know how confident I feel that I'll be able to read them, but I'm gonna put them on my TBR, and we're gonna be ambitious. We're gonna aim for the bullseye, and if we can't make the bullseye, then maybe we'll get some points at least. Maybe we'll at least read some books. I'm gonna try to reread Agatha Christie's Endless Night. I talked about this. I actually made like a whole video about Agatha Christie's mysteries, so if you're interested in picking up one of her mysteries this fall season, I encourage you to check out that video. But this is, I think, the most perfect of her mysteries to pick up for spooky season, just because it is just so crazy. It has great atmosphere. It's just a very slow burn, and then a crazy ending that just makes you just question reality, question everything. It's been a long time since I've read this book, and I think it'll be interesting rereading it knowing about the ending, because it'll give me so much more perspective. It's like rewatching Shutter Island when you know about the ending. It's like, I know some people think that plot twist movies or plot twist books kind of take away the watchability or the rereadability, but I think it's like, it's cooler like when you know sometimes, because you notice all the, I mean, of course the first experience is like unique because it's like a surprise, but then when you read it again, you notice little details, you notice the little breadcrumbs, the little hints, so much more, and you're able to kind of like appreciate the end sometimes a little bit. It's just a different experience. But yeah, I'm gonna try to reread this book because it's just like, it's been a long time, and I know that I probably should try to read a new Agatha Christie book over rereading one of hers, but I just really want to read this. I guess that's another one that I almost forgot about. Deathly Hallows. I want to finish the Harry Potter series. That's definitely on the TBR, and I'd love to do like a whole fun vlog where I make some of the treats in the movies and watch the movie, play Hogwarts Legacy, just do lots of cozy, fun things. So that's definitely on the TBR. To finish Harry Potter, that's a little bit high up on the list. Higher on the list than rereading Endless Night. We'll see if I get around to doing it. And then this book has been on my shelf, unfortunately, for a long time, which is so unfortunate for me because I love Marissa Meyer, but I don't know, Gilded just kind of, I was kind of indifferent to Gilded, and so Cursed, I started it a while ago, and I don't know, I'm probably gonna have to just altogether reread it. I hate to feel this way about this book because I know plenty of people who really enjoyed this retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. This is the second book, and like, look how beautiful the cover is. And then like, this looks like it'd be the perfect Halloween book, but I have no motivation to read it. Just because I just was indifferent to the first book. I wanted to like it so bad, but it hurts my heart to feel that way because I love Marissa Meyer and I know that this is good. Like, a lot of people have fallen in love with these books, but I just, for some reason, I mean, who knows, maybe this book I'll absolutely love, but I don't really know. I can't really put my finger on why I just didn't really like it that much. But yeah, this is on the TBR and I'm reluctant to read it. Who knows, maybe I just need to like read this one and maybe that would make me appreciate Gilded, and who knows, you know, who knows. So this is on the TBR, but we'll see. Oh my gosh, I don't have it with me, but I also want to read The Otherworld by Abbie Emmons. I actually got the hardcover copy of it, which I guess maybe it's good that I don't have it with me because I wanted to do like a whole video. I don't know how I would do it, but I'm not sure if I want to do like a reading vlog and then have my review, but I want to do like a video specifically for The Otherworld by Abbie Emmons, just because, you know, I want to give her a lot of support and love, and kind of attention, because she deserves, not that, you know, not that me making a video is gonna give her much, but you know, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a little spotlight, a little flashlight, a little beam of light, to showcase her work. I filmed my opening, you know, showed off the hardcover, and then I definitely want to do like either a reading vlog of me reading it, or just kind of talk about, you know, my thoughts on the book after I read it. I definitely want to do a video with that. Probably will end up being kind of late to doing that just because there's so much to read for school, and then of course I want to try my best to read for fun. Of course I want to read that book, but it's also not a library book, so I feel like more of a pressure to read my library books so I can quickly return them. I don't know, I guess I have a higher priority to read like Deathly Hallows now that it's like spooky season than The Otherworld, because I want to get into like spooky books. I imagine that I would get to The Otherworld either in November or even December. I'm hoping sooner rather than later, but we'll see. That's also on the TBR and I really want to read that, and who knows, maybe I'll have motivation to read this one. We'll see. But yeah, so that is those are all my fall recommendations. That's my TBR. I also want to I thought about doing a video where I share my favorite movies, video games, music, any like fall treats. Let me know if you guys would like to see kind of a part 2 to this video where I talk about non-book related recommendations. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and read a book and bloom on. Tabitha says bye. Bye!